Why, hello everybody. This is mzJanis, and I am here to say how or ask, how are you doing today? Well, I am doing all fantabulous. I mean, I'm having a great day. I um I write stories, and right now I'm helping a young man by the name of Mateo. So I call him Little Mr. Mateo. He is 9 years old, and I'm showing him three different types of ways to be an author. You can author a book. You can be the author of a book. You can create. He wants to be a creative writer, so I just took him all way past writing part. Like you already know how to write paragraphs, sentences, who, what, when, where, why, all that. I took him way past the basics, and I was like, "Have you ever thought about being an author?" He's like, no. But anyway, so I'm making this video for him because he has homework assignments, and I'm trying to make him know how important it is to do his homework. And so what I did is I put in my name and I put in the title of a book that I created. I mean, a story, excuse me, it's not a book. It's a story that I created, but I put it in a book because you'll be able to see it in just a second. There you go. It's all in the brush. And but look at the site, you guys. Let me see if I can do F11 and so you'll understand why I'm showing you this site. Now I wrote this in 2000 and well, it was before 2004 because I know it was before I moved for a little quick stint to Texas. So I know it was before 2004. So it could have been like in okay, we'll say 2000, 2004. I was living in an apartment complex, so I know that was true because the picture is in the story. And my bird is on my shoulder, but look at this. I mean, I am on a site here that's in another language, and I have this thing that translated, but I don't want to translate it because look, isn't this amazing? I mean, if I push that, I don't know what's going to happen, so I'm not going to push it until after I get done. But look at this. I'm just amazed. They have cartoons, videos, tells how many times it's been looked at. Let me see what it's doing on here. It doesn't say. Let me make it extremely big. Well, I wanted you all to see that. So now we're going to get to it, okay? So hi, Mr. Mateo. This is a part of being tutored by mzJanis. You get all this extra stuff. You pay, but you still get all this extra stuff because I'm encouraging people who want their children to learn, that they let them know that they can learn, but if they have to listen, of course, and they have to do their homework. I mean, no need for me. I mean, I don't mind doing what I do. This is free, so I don't mind doing what I do. But I'm teaching Mr. Mateo how to be a writer, just a creative writer. And the only three that I've told him so far, because you know there are more than three, is to write short stories, poems, and songs. I wrote a song today, and it starts off like this. You are who you say that you are. That's all I'm gonna sing. Okay. I remember. I am a storyteller. So I remember this one time I was selling books and magazines, and I believe I was in Florida at the time. I was a traveling saleswoman, but I sold books and magazines. So I was in Florida, and I had wrote this short song. Part of my speech was, if you purchase something for me, I will sing to you. And some people wouldn't purchase, but I'll say, well, is it okay if I sing? And they say, sure, go ahead. And I'll be, love is laughing when you're happy. Open to, and then I would stop. And they said, what? Wait. I said, no. I said, I will sing if you purchase a book. And you didn't purchase anything. Okay, have a nice day. And I would run off the porch or the steps or whatever. Like I just did, y'all. Okay, so it's all in the brush. One of the things that you have to recognize as a creative writer, Mr. Mateo, is that you can use anything that you want. And with your title is normally the grabber. Your title is normally the thing that goes, I got to see what this is about. This is cool. And it's written by someone that's 9, like that. Okay. So I believe I wrote this when I was in my 30s, and I am 60 now. So I wrote this about 30 years ago. And you only get better with age. And and this is a 30-year writing. But then at the time that I was writing this, I was saying to the world that there's more than one way to look at something. See, I want that brush to come alive, but it's all in the brush is simply the title. And the title is like the puzzle piece that you have to center all the pieces of puzzle around. Or a title is like the edge of the puzzle and you put the pieces in it to make the picture. I hope you get that. If you do, virtual high five with sound effects. Okay, so let's get started. Okay. Now that JC is Jesus Christ and mzJanis, because without him, this book would not have been written, or the story will not have been written. It is all in the brush. Written by mzJanis and read by mzJanis. I never realized just who you were exactly until I began seeing you at work and undertook the task of making mental notes of what I saw. You were just sitting there doing your own thing, as you would call it, while all the people that surrounded you continually asked questions, talked about their concerns or interests, then waited patiently for you to respond. You know, I like the way those in your presence never bombarded you for your attention. It seemed that they each gave the impression to know that you would eventually get to them with a patient and sincere response. All my thoughts those times I noticed you from a distance were always the same. Wow. Now, who is that young kid who appears to exhibit such a knowledge way beyond his years? I would just shake my head in amazement, then think, how could he even know that? And why? Of all the people created in the world, would others go to him with their questions, concerns, ideas, and deepest thoughts? Putting those questions to rest will actually be both a privilege and an honor. I know it's going to take some time, but I'm going to get it. One day, my curiosity, though, got the best of me, and I decided to venture just a wee bit closer to hear just a little bit better the knowledge coming from you. And yes, I am so glad I made that choice because this is what I saw and this is what I heard. Okay, you had already taken your brushes out of their case and you had strategically laid them on a piece of cloth. Now, the texture of the material that you laid your brushing on appeared to be raw silk, and the design was of a green, red, white, brown, black, and gold tapestry. The blending of the colors kept me mesmerized for quite some time. I even noticed myself staring. On the other hand, to see the graceful ways you would take your paintbrushes to dip them in the paint and apply the colors you would mix on the canvas was an art in itself. Yet to behold the beauty of your finished product was simply awesome.
And if I were to describe what my eyes beheld in my own words, would be like telling of an experience that is joyous, exhilarating, and breathtaking all at the same time. The questions that were asked of you on the day I decided to exclude myself from the group was based on what individuals had learned from others who were considered their mentors, teachers, parent, or friend. One young guy, he had to be at least in his late teens, if not just getting acquainted with being 20, had asked you a question concerning life as he knew it, and you replied in such a manner that every head nodded in agreement at the same time, with the same rhythm. I was simply amazed. As usual, you know what? On this particular day, I was in your presence for hours, but I'm just going to tell it to you like this. I sat and listened attentively for approximately 3.5 hours and noticed that people came and went, but you never appeared rushed, unconcerned, bored, or tired in the slightest way. In fact, as the day unfolded, you seemed to be even more alert and as if you were at the right place at the right time and doing exactly the right thing needed at that particular moment. Okay, after 5 hours of listening to you, your wisdom, your knowledge, and much appreciated answers to questions, stories, and shared ideas, I stood and said a silent, "Take care, my friend. I'll see you again soon." And almost on cue, and as if you somehow heard me, because I remember whispering, you turned your head in my direction, nodded at me with closed eyes, as if you were answering me, "Until then, my friend." Then you turned back around, not skipping a beat, and finished what you started. You were explaining the illustration of the little girl who knew the alphabet but did not know how to put the letter into words, but she had a determination to write something to her friend. You were explaining that what she did was she just continually wrote the alphabet A, B, C, but she wrote them in different orders: L, N, O, S, Q, R, W, A, B, C, L, N, O, S, Q, R, W, and then handed the little note to her friend and said, "This letter says, I love you." I just smiled and shook my head in amazement as I walked away. I purposed within myself, as I was walking away, to engage in a conversation with you the next time I was in your presence. My desire is to just simply see how it would feel to have you speak directly to me. I realized that it would be a few days before that transpired, so I thought that in the meantime, I would search within myself for the perfect topic to discuss, the most important thing that I wanted to ask. As the days elapsed and my time to see you again neared, I decided to ask what I thought would be a very simple question of you. For one, that was dear to my heart. I was going to say, will I ever be able to communicate with my family in the manner you appear to talk to others? Yes, that's it. I was going to say those words. Will I ever be able to communicate with my family in the manner you appear to talk to others? Oh, I practiced it. I stood in front of the mirror and said it over and over. I was trying to make it shorter. I was doing everything I possibly can think of. And then I just said, I'm just gonna just make my way up to him. I'm gonna say, excuse me, will I ever be able to communicate with my family in the manner you appear to talk to others? I admit, you appear to be a natural talker. It also seems that talking about the concern of others is the easiest thing in the world for you to do. Okay, this is the day. And I remember this. As I approached the area where you were on what I would consider being my day, I called myself going there extremely earlier, hoping that I would get to see what I saw the last time. You taking your brushes out, you laying them on the table, or putting them on the material. So I'm going to say this. You had already taken the brushes out of their case and strategically laid them on the piece of cloth. People were already there, and conversations with them had already commenced. My heart skipped a beat, and a sense of sadness was trying to get my attention because there was no way I would be able to get any closer than the back of the crowd. Okay, even though I could hear very clearly what was being responded to and expressed, I felt my need to talk with you on a personal level was not going to be met. So I'm going to admit, I took one step back, and just as I turned to go away with my head hung low, I heard the question I had prepared to ask. Yes, the exact question. Will I ever be able to communicate with my family in the manner you appear to talk to others? I could not believe it. Yet I did believe it in the same instant because I heard with my own ears. This time, my hand went up to my open mouth as I shook my head in amazement. Then, in the same time it takes for a quarter to fall from the hand to the ground, this thought came to my mind. He cares, knows, and understands the heart of people. Your reply to the question will be etched in my being forever plus. Your answer was not simple, nor was it yes or no. It appeared that you took your time as you explained and demonstrated what you want to know forever. You said, close your eyes. And I just act like I asked the question because that was my question. So I closed my eyes. And as soon as I did, I actually began to picture the words you spoke. Yes, I saw the artist sitting in front of the easel with purpose and confidence. And yes, I believe that the artist was in command of his surroundings. I also understood how the artist would use his five senses to transfer what he saw on the canvas in front of him. And I imagined the different color paints in their containers. I felt that he was able of starting and finishing any project set before him. I perceived that the artist recognized the importance each brush played in finishing the work. Then it appeared that after you knew I got that picture, you said, it's all in the brush. It's all in the BRUSH. It's all in the letter B stand for B. R, really. U, understanding. S, sincerely. H, honest. Then you said, you have to be really understanding and sincerely honest. You know, my life from that point on took on a whole different total meaning. You have to be really understanding and sincerely honest. From that point on, I began to walk better, to talk better, to live better. My life was better. And I realized that you know my heart and you speak directly to it. Forever, I would cherish the knowledge of knowing who you are and why, out of all the people in the world, others go to you with their questions, concerns, ideas, and deepest thoughts. It's all in the brush.
Hey, everybody. Isn't that amazing? I know. I said the same thing. That came from out of me. Wow. Well, I wanted you all to take the time to know and to remember that I am tutoring a course that allows you to be a creative writer at whatever age you are. I am teaching your children from the ages of, I think, 4, well, whenever they start writing, from the ages of 4 to 5, how to write creatively. And I'm teaching them like language, how to speak language, how to describe, how to make descriptive sentences or paragraphs. And that's where we are right now. It does not matter how old the child is. If they are not a writer, like pencil and paper writer, I do like this because I always teach that when you know how to hold a fork or a spoon the correct way to eat, then that's when you learn how to write. And then I teach from there the capital I, lowercase I, those strategies, capital O, lowercase o, that's the technique of writing every letter and every number in the English language and Spanish and Korean. And I learned that when I was teaching myself how to write Korean and stuff like that. You have to learn those dits and those dots and those, everything comes from those 4 letters. Okay. So I want you to know that I am on superproof.com. Superproof, superproof.com, and it's about tutoring. It's a tutoring site, and I'm in Portland, Oregon. That's a hint, hint, hint. But they have them all over. But if you want me to help you in any area, one subject is $10. 3 subjects is $25 an hour. And I give discounts. I never, ever, never, depending on how many kids you have, how children, excuse me, we don't have goats, how many children you have, I never ever go over $150 a month. Never. No matter what I tutor. Well, I should have said $175 a month, and never, whatever I tutor or the amount of people that I tutor. Okay? All right. So if you are interested in being tutored to be a creative writer, be it a song, if you want to write songs, if you want to write a book of poems, if you want to write a book of short stories, if you want to write anything that you want to write, and you want to go through a course with mzJanis, you can just find me on Superproofs, SuperProf.com. You be encouraged and have a blessed day. Bye for now.